Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Danganronpa. Today, we're hopping right back in to see what drama unfolds in this episode. Without further ado, let's hop into it, shall we? I'm kind of tired, so I lay down in bed. Maybe it was because of the stress of moving alter ego, but it was more tired than I realized. Before long, it all fades to black. I completely dozed off. Ding dong! Hmm? The sharp sound of the doorbell pierced my sleepy haze and pulled me back to the real world.
Makoto.
Makoto, get out here. Kyoko, what are you
Indeed.
doing? Hina just came to see me. She was white as a ghost. It sounds like something happened. What? As soon as I heard those words, my heart started to beat a little faster. I suddenly found myself wide awake. She said for us to come to the rec room. The rec room? Okay, let's hurry. Oh no! I know what this is. I can't get the door open. Is it locked? The thing is, I know exactly what's happening. Makoto, Kyoko, Hina, what's wrong? Something's not right. In the rec room. What's inside? There was a window on the rec room door, and I hurried to look inside. And when I did, Sakura, she unconscious. She's sitting up in her chair, like she's bowing her head.
Hey.
What's going on? Did something happen to
Huh?
her? I was just walking past, and I happened to notice her through the window, but I couldn't get the door open. I tried knocking, tried calling her name. Work. But she wouldn't respond.
Huh?
So what should we do? What are we going to do?
Anyway.
First of all, we need to get into that room. But the door's locked, right? If we break in, we'll be violating school regulations. We're going to force our way in. I just said
Wrong.
the door isn't locked. It's not locked because the rec room door doesn't have a lock. Huh? Then why? It feels like the door is pressing up against something inside the room. Is it the chair? Chair.
In other words.
Either way, this door isn't locked, which means, as far as I can tell, the rule doesn't apply. Then there's no problem if we break in.
Indeed.
Let's smash the window. That should be the fastest way. Okay, I'll go get something to break it with. Wait right here. Inside the rec room, Sakura still hadn't moved an inch. She's just unconscious, right? Is she okay? I mean, Sakura, I'm so sure. Kyoko didn't reply. There was only silence. But that silence didn't last long. Here. Huff, huff, I found a broom. Huff, in the class. Huff, huff, use it.
Makoto.
You can handle this, right, Makoto?
Please!
Come on, please hurry. Okay, you two stand back. I took hold of the broom and swung it as hard as I could. Aiming directly at the window, all it took was one solid hit. The window was shattered in 100 pieces, scattering across the rec room floor. I stuck my hand through the now open window and started jostling the chair leaning against the door. The chair's pretty heavy, but if I can just push it on it with all my strength, I finally had the knob turned. Sakura! I ran up as fast as I could, but the moment I laid my hand on her. Ugh. All I felt was cold death. Okay, let me firstly say that's that scene for her dramatic, but also I love it because if when they showed the death scenes, I like that there's a lot of detail put into them. I could feel only the last lingering warmth of a living body. Life had been abandoned. Life had abandoned Sakura's body, and then
A body has been discovered. After a certain amount of time, which you may use however you like, the class trial will begin.
Huh? Sakura's dead? She's really dead?
I heard Hina talking, but my eyes stared steadily forward. I could only look on at Sakura's dead body. We didn't make it in time. It happened again. Muttering to herself, Kyoko began to gently inspect Sakura's body. Okay, me hitting the wrong fucking button on a keyboard. I have to go get them. I have to go get the others. On shaky legs, Hina left the rec room. And why? Why did this have to happen? That's all I could say. I repeated it over and over again. I need to examine Sakura's body. I just stood there motionless behind her while she checked Sakura's corpse. Time passed. I stood there unable to do a thing. Time just passed. After I don't know how long. I got everyone.
What?
Orige?
Yes.
Oh, so she's dead. Huh.
I see.
Sakura's been killed, I see. As soon as they arrived, Kyoko began.
Just a second.
You heard the announcement just now, right? So you know what that means. Sakura
Interesting.
was murdered by someone in this very room. Is that what you were going to say? No. Whoever killed her is not just someone in this room.
It's your fault!
It's one of you, Hirobayaku Yutaka. One of you killed Sakura. What?
What?
You're accusing us before we even begun the investigation? I don't need to investigate anything. Because you hated her. You hated the sight of her.
I forgive you.
One of you did it, I know it. You know it?
Ba-bum, ba-bum.
Geez, I didn't know your power level would increase by that much just by getting mad.
What the heck?
What are you doing here?
Come on!
Isn't it obvious? I'm here to hand out my little murder flyer.
The Monokuma file!
And don't get so mad, Miss Asahina. You're gonna ruin the little face of yours. Now then, with that, hold on. There's something I want to ask you. Huh? Was it you? Was it you that killed Sakura? Huh? Sakura wanted to challenge the mastermind into a duel. Maybe you had her fought again and then I killed her? Sorry, not quite. Actually, not even close. The whole thing is totally irrelevant now. Sakura came to a most forgettable end without even getting the chance to finish things with me. Which, thank God for that. It saved me the trouble of having to go through with our little fight. Because even for someone like me, it would have been no mean feat to take down a behemoth like that.
Hey,
I gotta tell you, I was actually pretty worried. I mean, she'd violated a rule by attacking me in the first place, but I wasn't able to punish her.
dime.
So I don't know who it was, but whoever the Blackened is this time, I owe you one.
What is this?
You owe them one? Oopsie, before you get all pissy potty at me, you better figure out who did it first. Because, I mean, your lives are on the line, right?
What is this?
What the hell, he owes them one?
I forgive you.
I hate him. I hate this whole thing. Well, I, for one, am glad Sakura... It was Sakura. She was working for the mastermind, after all. How can you say that now? Sorry, I don't have the time for your squabbling. The next game has already begun. If you want to be angry at someone, be angry at whoever killed Sakura.
Anyway,
Right now, our top priority needs to be uncovering Sakura's killer. If we can't do that, we're all dead. Then let's decide who will stand guard this time. I'll do it. Hina, I'm okay. Just let me handle it. Besides, I want to be here with Sakura.
That's fine.
Okay, then Hina is guard number 1. But we need one more. Kyoko, that's you.
what?
Me? You're always a thorn in my side. This time, just stand by and watch quietly. Consider that an order. An order?
That's fine.
Fine, I'll stay behind. Then it's settled. Let's begin, shall we? Hold on. Before that, there's something I want to say. Which is... Hiro, Byakuya, Toko, none of you are allowed to step foot in the crime scene. What?
It's your fault!
One of you killed Sakura.
I won't forgive you.
And I won't let someone like that come anywhere near her.
Stop talking.
Don't be stupid. Our lives are in just as much danger as yours. We have every right to investigate. I don't care what you say. I'm not letting the one who killed Sakura anywhere near her. Even if it means I have to use force, you're not getting in here. Well, it appears further discussion would be a waste of time. How about a compromise?
It's all clear now.
I won't ask you to let all of us in. Just let me. What? You don't really care, do you? You're both useless anyway.
Yep.
Nope, don't really care. I'd rather spend my time coming up with another splendid fantasy involving Master anyway. And you, hero, do you really object? If you're gonna go that far, what can I do? I mean, I don't have anything to hide, so why should I care?
It's all clear now.
Then it's decided.
What are you saying?
Nothing's decided.
Calm down.
I know how you feel, Hina, but you should agree to this request. But
Hey,
we have to find out who killed Sakura.
correct.
For those of us still alive, and to honor Sakura's memory. Fine, I guess that's okay. But no matter what, Byakuya, you absolutely aren't allowed to touch her. Naturally, who would want to touch a filthy dead body?
Listen.
That's enough fighting. We need to focus on the investigation from here on out. Everyone keep this in mind. If we can't uncover Sakura's killer,
Listen to me.
all of us face execution. Finding out who killed Sakura is not a matter of hoping we can do it. If we want to survive, we have to do it. It's kind of a hopeless hope. We have no choice but just do it. Alright, now we can hop into this for the real thing. The victim was Sakura Origami. The time of death is estimated to be around noon. The body was discovered in the rec room on the 3rd floor of the school. There is evidence of a strong blow to the victim's head. No other injuries were noted. However, it seems that at some point the victim suffered from violent vomiting of blood. Monokuma File 4 has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your handbook.
Hey,
I think case this time might be a challenge. Blanket. Warmth. Perfect. Why is that?
so...
The only way into the rec room is the door we just came through. And that door had been jammed shut with a chair from the inside of the rec room. Which means the killer would have had to escape somehow after barring the door. So if the door was blocked from the inside and there was no way in or out till we broke the window, there's like zero escape, right?
In other words,
In other words, this is a classic locked room murder. Locked room murder. Guess you might see this kind of thing a lot in mystery movies or books or whatever. But could it really happen in real life and right before our very eyes like this? Ugh, that's what I wanted. I didn't know that part Ben did. Learning new things about my equipment.
hey,
Are you curious to hear more about what a locked room murder entails? Sure, if you don't
that's
mind.
fine.
When you break down this kind of murder mystery, there are 4 basic types. First type is when the locked room is created after the actual crime is committed. It simply means that the killer committed his crime, then through some special method sealed the room. This mainly involves some sort of trick involving the locking of the room. Basic approaches include using string or a simple mechanism. There are a number of variations. For that, all we'd have to do was check the door to see if that was it, right?
Correct.
The second type is when the locked room already existed before the crime is committed. Oh.
In other words,
Basically, the killer used a special contraption or tool from the outside to target the victim inside. To push a switch, and it fires a handgun, you shoot an arrow through a gap in the door, something like that.
however,
But in this case, that doesn't seem to fit. There are no guns, arrows in the school. The doors didn't have any gap that would allow it. Yeah, I think we can probably cross that one off the list.
it's true.
Third type is the killer stays in the room until it's opened. What do you mean by that?
In other words,
They stay hidden, and when the door is open, they use the confusion to blend in with the group. They pretend to show up along with everybody else, and that's that. That sounds like it could have been a possible maybe.
it's true.
And the fourth, the final type, it wasn't actually locked room at all. Not at locked
In
room.
other words,
Like that, I mean, there's actually is an alternate escape route somewhere within the room. You see this a lot in novels and things, but in reality, it's generally not possible. When you think, then you think we can cross that one off too?
Indeed.
I believe so, yes. So when it comes to locked room mysteries, those are the basics. There are 4 possibilities. In Kyoko, which of those 4 choices seems most likely in this case?
It's true.
That's a good question. Answering that should be our primary focus during this trial. But right now, I can't really say. I see. The way the killer set up the locked room, until I figured that out, the truth behind Sayaka's death will stay hidden. It's definitely a tough mystery. I need to concentrate and investigate as much as I can. For Sakura, if nothing else. There's shards of glass scattered around the chair Sakura's sitting on. The glass is all red and these are the top and bottom section of the bottle, right? This must have originally been a bottle. The glass shards on the floor had been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Huh, there's something else on the ground in the glass. A figurine. It fits in the palm of my hand. It's a Monokuma figure. Figure on the floor has been added. Truth bullet section of your handbook. This looks like some kind of wrapper.
Huh?
Ah, that's... Do you recognize it, Hina?
Well...
Well, yeah, I mean, I gave it to her. It's a candy wrapper. Sakura got super upset when she found a Genocide Jack had attacked me, right? So after we left the nurse's office, I gave it to her. I thought it might help her calm down a little. So you gave that candy to Sakura? I found a big box in the warehouse. I really like them. Actually, as soon as we could get into the warehouse, I took the entire box back to my room. I made sure nobody else could get their hands on them. You really like them that much?
'Cause, I mean...
But I wanted Sakura to have a chance to try one for herself. That's why I gave it to her. But now, they've lost their flavor. Hina. Polka dot candy wrapper has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. There's a bloodstain from the magazine shelf. Must have come from Sakura, right? But that doesn't make sense. Why is it so far away from where she died? Magazine shelf bloodstain has been added to the bullet section of your handbook. There are 4 red bottles lined up on the shelf. In each bottle is some kind of Monokuma figure. What I'm wondering is how they get those figures inside the bottle.
So...
It's no different from your shard ship in a bottle, huh? You know, where the bottle opening is smaller than the boat placed inside. You've never seen that? Oh yeah, maybe I have.
In other words...
So this is the Monokuma version of that. Monokuma bottle, if you will. Monokuma bottle has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. I felt like I'm finally starting to make sense of things little by little. The Monokuma bottle is sitting on the shelf. The Monokuma figurine we found on the ground. Red shards of glass, which probably started out as a bottle. Which means Sakura must have been hit in the head with a Monokuma bottle, right? The shards of glass and the Monokuma figure are evidence of that. So I think it's safe to say Monokuma bottle was the weapon. The locker's open, and there on the inside is a handprint.
Why?
What's a handprint doing here? It looks like someone touched the inside of the locker and left a handprint in all the dust.
It's true.
And it looks quite fresh too. I'd say someone was hiding in the locker and they left behind a little something extra. So then, maybe the killer hid in here until the locked room was open, don't you think? And during all the confusion, they popped out and joined the rest of the group.
Wrong.
Unfortunately, that's not a possibility. Oh, why not?
Hey,
Think back, before we opened the door, we looked inside the room, right? Oh yeah, and the locker was already open at that point.
indeed.
So there's no way someone could have hidden in there until after we opened the door. Yeah, so then what does the handprint mean? Locker handprint is better to truth bullet section of your handbook. There's some kind of plastic container rolling around near the entrance of the room.
So...
Looks like a protein drink, and it's empty. Sakura must have drank it. Everyone knows how much she loves her protein. And she mentioned more than once how protein is good for all sorts of ailments.
Wrong.
I wouldn't take that to heart if I were you. I know. But still, this protein can. It's got a label on it that says Chem A-2. That reminds me, Sakura mentioned how the Chem lab had all kinds of health stuff. She must have gotten this from the Chem lab.
Just a second.
But that's strange. Oh, what is?
Hey,
You see what's scattered around the can? Shards of light blue glass. They must be part of the window I broke to get inside.
correct.
But they aren't just scattered around the can, they also underneath it. Why does it matter?
So,
I can't say for sure yet, but you're probably going to want to take note of it. I feel like it will become an important clue later on. An important clue. I'm not sure I can see how. Anti-protein drink has been added to the bullet section of your handbook.
What the heck?
You already know who did it.
I won't forgive you.
By Akuya, Toko, or Hiro. It had to be one of them. They couldn't stand the sight of her. You agree with me, don't you, Makoto? Well, I don't want to say anything for sure without finding out more. Then let me help you find out more. You see, Sakura asked all three of them to meet with her. You know where? Right here in the rec room. What? After I went to the nurse's office this morning, Sakura and I both left together, right? Well, eventually she went off on her own. But when I saw her again, after that, she told me. She said she left a note for each of them. She asked to meet her in the rec room by noon. By noon, the Monokuma file said she died right around then. I'm telling you the truth, I heard it right from Sakura herself. And I tried to stop her. But she wouldn't listen. She said not to worry, that she just wanted to talk to them. And this is what happened. If I'd stopped her, by force even, this would never have happened. Hina. It's impossible not to have regrets, I know. Aoi's account has been added to the bullet section of your handbook. But the fact that she had asked those three to meet with her, and then asked them to come to the rec room at noon, the same time and place she ended up dying, it might be good to confirm what I just heard with the three of them directly.
however,
But for Sakura to have been killed, yeah, she's not the type who would go down without a fight.
it's true.
And she certainly didn't, I wouldn't say. She was the ultimate martial artist, strong in body, mind, and spirit. So how was the killer able to get the upper hand on her? I wonder, did someone get the upper hand? They must have taken her by surprise, right?
Certainly.
They would have needed to if they expected to stand any chance against her.
What?
What do you want? You're bothering me. There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Make it quick. Is it true that Sakura asked you to meet her in the rec room? So you found out. Interesting. That is it true? I did receive a note to that effect, yes. But what fool would do what it said and risk being killed by that monster? So you didn't go see her? Of course not. I ripped the note to shreds and threw it away. I haven't seen Sakura today at all. Baikuya said he didn't go see her. Is that the truth? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I had no choice but to accept it as fact.
Come on.
If you're all finished, please remove yourself from my sight. Okay, thanks. Baikuya's account has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. The chair was shoved up against the doorknob, so we couldn't get into the door. There's no evidence of any kind of string or mechanism that was used on the chair. In other words, there's no reason to think that chair had anything special done to it. Okay, so I got all those. Got both of them. Got her. Got the blood, I got that. I got up there. Anything special about the magazine? Same shelf full of magazines. There's different kind of magazines here. It's around 1 o'clock right now. According to the Monokuma file, Sakura says it died around noon. It's roughly an hour ago. What? That's when Kyoko and I were moving alter ego. Sakura drew her last breath sitting slumped forward in this chair. There's obvious evidence to blow to the head Sakura suffered. Normally, I wouldn't have any problem believing that's what killed her. But according to the Monokuma file, she also had vomited blood. I can see trace of blood on her lips for sure. So what could have caused her to vomit blood? Monokuma files specifically said she hadn't suffered any other injuries. Status of Sakura's body has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Maybe her getting hit on the head somehow caused her to start vomiting blood. Not a chance. Bakuya.
That's fine.
However, your eyes have landed on the most interesting location. Interesting.
Naturally.
Yes, most interesting. Don't you agree? No, I don't think I'd call it interesting. But it does make me wonder. Lisa Sakura vomited blood absolutely had to be connected to why she died.
Hey, certainly.
What the heck? I won't.
Okay.
Don't make me repeat myself.
Yes, I see a willful monster. Our service was shreds, the way. Otherwise.
So, in other words, so... Hey. Correct. So... So, however... Indeed. Hey. Certainly. So... Hey. Correct. So...
So it doesn't have a lock, and there's no evidence of the mount have been tampered with. The only noticeable change to the door is the smashed window, which happened, of course, when I broke inside to get it. There's no evidence that any kind of string mechanism was used on the door. In other words, I don't see anything suspicious about the door itself. Having examined both the door and the chair, there's no doubt the reason the door didn't open was simply because the chair was shoved up against it. This kept the doorknob from turning and the door from opening. There was no evidence of the door or chair being tampered with or anything like that. So the killer must have created the locked door from the inside, not the outside. The rec room door has been added to the bullet section of your handbook.
Listen.
Well, Makoto, have you finished with your general investigation? Yeah, I think so, for the most part.
So then...
Then you should probably go talk with people now. I'm on guard duty, so I can't leave.
Listen to me.
Which is why I've decided you'll go in my place. She's decided she's got a lot more pushy since we had our issue. But she's right, I do have to go talk with the others. Sakura wanted to meet with 2 other people. I need to hear what they have to say. two probably went back to their rooms. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if you did, remember to hit like and subscribe, because I guarantee you're going to want to know what happens next. I hope you'll have a good day, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go